Good afternoon to everybody, and happy to welcome you to this press conference. It's called Changing Mindset and Shaping the Future, and is organized by Brahma Kumaris. And also a warm welcome to everyone watching online. My name is Sonja Olsson, and I will be moderating this session on behalf of Brahma Kumaris. It's an NGO, and we are part of the faith-based community here in the COP conferences. Never before has the ethical agenda been pointed out to us from heads of nations, from the youth, from the climate activists. We need to look at the ethical barriers that are stopping direct and fast climate action. And today we would like to address the root causes behind the ethical barriers that stops our climate actions. So in this press conference, we like to point out the connection between mindset, local action, and global policy. And I'm very happy to welcome our three panelists here. We have Maureen Goodman, Program Director from the Brahma Kumaris in the UK. We have Kenneth Amatong, President of Babi Biman Foundation in Ghana. And we also have Golo Pils, Energy Advisor to Brahma Kumaris. So I've asked them to present around 5 minutes each, and then we'll have a meditation towards the end and also time for questions. So I've asked Golo Pils to kick off this press conference. And Golo Pils is, as I said, advisor to Brahma Kumaris on renewable energy. And since the early 90s, he played a key role in establishing Brahma Kumaris as one of the major single users of renewable energy in India. And recently, Golo has directed the construction of India One, a big 1 megawatt solar thermal power plant. This innovative project was partly sponsored by the German and Indian government. And Golo advocates sustainable solutions through an ethical and value-based approach. And he has participated in every COP in Copenhagen in 2009. So welcome, Golo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sonja, for the introduction. And just a couple of words on the Brahma Kumaris. We are a spiritual organization, and our headquarters is in Rajasthan, in Mount Abu in India. And interestingly, we are administrated by women, which makes it a very, very special and unique organization in the world. It makes it very sweet and very attractive. That much I can say. More than 15 years ago, the Brahma Kumaris has initiated an environmental initiative as we noticed the decline in nature and also the coming up climate change. We have since then been to all the climate conferences since Copenhagen, and we advocate an inner change, a change of mindset, and a bringing back of values and ethics into the negotiation process. Therefore, we advocate meditation as a powerful tool for transformation. And first of all, we urge everybody to change the mindset, become loving, become compassionate, and very simply said, what you love, you don't destroy. And I hope you all will agree to it. If there would be more love in the negotiations, I would say climate change wouldn't be any problem at all. We also work in raising awareness and consciousness through a lot of programs, seminars, and are very, very busy also at our headquarters in Mount Abu, where we have an accommodation capacity of more than 25,000 people. We run permanently programs there. We also advocate a drastic change of economic model and lifestyle. We're all aware as we act and as we live at the moment, that is not sustainable for the future. Of course, we promote a reduction of our carbon footprint and the use of renewable energies. Brahma Kumaris has been very hands-on, and 25 years ago we have set up a department of renewable energies, and you can see our Om Shanti Retreat Center in Delhi. Brahma Kumaris operates 5,000 meditation centers in India and 1,500 abroad. And slowly, slowly, we're introducing renewable energies and a green policy to all of our centers. You can see here the Om Shanti Retreat Center. There's a 400 kilowatt solar photovoltaic power plant. And in the background, you can see a solar steam cooking system, which cooks the food for all the visitors. Here you can see our first steam cooking system, which we built in 1997. This was financed by the GTZ, by the German Development Agency. At that time, it was 100,000 Deutschmark, I think, which was very, very cheap, which is 50,000 euros. And since then, since more than 25 years, this system is producing steam for our kitchen, and we're cooking up to 2,000 meals every day by the power of sun. Therefore, we are using the Scheffler parabolic dish. We're focusing on the receiver, and inside is steam, and the steam we're sending towards the community kitchen. The system works very nicely, but now after 25 years, we slowly have to think to overhaul it and renovate it. We also have set up a larger steam cooking system for 35,000 meals in our Abu Road main headquarter, and it consists of 84 parabolic dishes, and we cook 35,000 meals by the power of sun, probably produce every day 3,500 kilogram of steam at a pressure maximum of 10 bar. The system cost at that time was a 250,000 US dollar. Payback is after 5 to 6 years. The technology is available. You can come and visit us, and we will help you to replicate it. So no problem at all. 10 years ago, we had the idea also to go in thermal power generation. So we set up a 1 megawatt solar thermal power station. It's a flagship project sponsored, financed by the German and by the Indian government. And it is a 12 million euro project. And it's based on 770 parabolic dishes of 60 square meter. We focus on receivers. And the speciality of this project is we have thermal storage, and we can operate 24 hours. This system operates since 3 years, pretty flawless, and we're quite happy with the performance. And yeah, the technology is also basically available. And since then, we have also conducted many training courses and seminars there, more than 50 seminars for engineers where we train them in the advantages of solar thermal technology. So you can see Brahma Kumaris is very hands-on, and changing the mindset and imbibing values and ethics helps us a lot to choose also the right technology. Therefore, in order to make things more easy, we also have created a platform called Yogis for Future, and this is inviting like-minded people to join us for daily meditation. You can go to our webpage and you just download a meditation commentary, 6 minutes long, very nice, and the meditations are for peace, for power, for the nature, for the self, for the relation, and so on. And so I urge you and I invite you, all of us, to join hands, open the hearts, and with love and compassion, I'm sure, with values and ethics and a moral compass, I'm sure we'll all can heal the world. And climate change is a small problem, and there's nothing to worry about it, because the message from the spiritual front is, from the spiritual people, is that mind is above matter, and good days are going to come. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Golo, for sharing examples of what the change in mindset actually can lead to on a local action and international action. Our next speaker is Kenneth. Kenneth is a very good friend of ours from Ghana. I'm very happy to invite you to our press conference. He's a wise elder of the Pentecost Church in Ghana. And Kenneth is here as Executive Director of Abi Biman Foundation and Policy Advisor in the local community on sustainable development. And he works on empowerment and development, education, climate change, human rights, with the youth, with civil society, and various government organizations in Ghana. He's a board member of Ghana Alliance for Clean Cooking and for CAN, Climate Action Network in West Africa. So we'll be interested to hear what Kenneth's points on changing mindset and shaping the future. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the privilege, Sonia, and thank you. Mindset, it's one of the critical solutions to climate change. And I want everybody to be assured that if you want to change the climate, human factor is very key. And changing mindset is also very key. Looking at Ghana, we have about 31 million population, which about 12% of it are young people. And there is a lot of behaviors that people are doing. For example, cutting the mangroves for cooking, cutting the mangroves for fishing. And because of our taste, we like fish that have a smoke. And so changing the mindset is that changing the young people mindset. So when they grow, they would see that eating vegetarian is very good and healthy to their body and to their system. Changing mindset is that we change the way that we behave, that we will live a modest life. In Ghana, they want to see you be in a big car, be in a big house with full of air condition, using a lot of energy. That people see you that you are successful. But at the time that what we do is that we change the mindset of young people and telling them, living modesty, living and loving the earth and the planets is the best way to go. They said a behavior, doing a thing for 21 days become a character. So what we do is that in the schools, we have curriculum where we teach the young people how to live, how to love their neighbor, how to change their mindset, even about Africa, that people are so dirty that we can throw rubbish anyhow, burning bushes because of taste, because of love of fish, because of love of grass otter. So we'll burn the whole area because of love of smoke. And so this is the time and the best time of educating these young people, changing their mindset, taking their destiny into their own hands, because the planet belongs to them. Because our forefathers lived this planet for us, we cannot also leave it anyhow for our unborn children. So this topic is a unique topic that if we are able to do it and do it very successful, we're going to change the whole world and we're going to change the climate change. You go to the coastal area, some of them, wind, sun, even though sea rising is destroying both of communities and their livelihood, but people's behavior also is part of it. So on this note, I just want to say, the mind always processes about 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts every day. The mind. So if you are going to change their mindset of these young people, we are going to go a long way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. And yes, we have to start on the level of school and education to change the mindset. Because as we all know, the older you get, the harder it is to change both habits and mindset. So big welcome to the younger generation also. Our next speaker is Maureen Goodman. Maureen is the program director to Brahma Kumaris in the UK and Brahma Kumaris representative to the UN in Vienna. And she has a long-term involvement in the interreligious dialogue and represents the Brahma Kumaris on the board of religious leaders in Elijah Interfaith Institute. And is a spiritual ambassador to Living Peace projects. In 2022, she went to Ukraine with religious leaders as part of a Faith in Ukraine initiative. And she's also part of the Spirit of Humanity Forum, which offers safe spaces for dialogue among leaders and change makers. So welcome, Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you for the privilege of being here and for your introduction. There is a very, very deep connection between changing our mindset and our future, as has been described. And I think we need to understand very well about the energy of thoughts and how precious that energy is. Everything begins with a thought. Any invention, any action, any good work, it begins with a thought. It begins in our minds. How am I using my mind? And when we think about a mindset, the mindset is the lens through which we create thoughts. The mindset is connected to our inner beliefs. And so, for example, if I have the belief that, yes, I have a right to dominate over creatures and the earth and the elements, then my mindset is going to be one of exploitation. If I have a belief that, well, we are part of nature, we must live symbiotically with nature, then of course my thoughts and my whole attitude will be one of respect and one of regard and one of non-harm, non-violence, non-harm. And so also the intention behind our actions, that denotes the quality of our actions. And it's very easy to become angry. And of course, in the world today, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of violence, and that leads to a resistance and ultimately to more violence, to a cycle of violence. If we perform the same acts that we may perform with anger, if we perform those acts with love and with compassion, then it becomes not just activism, but it becomes sacred activism born out of those internal values. And actually, that is much, much more effective in bringing about change. When we also look within and think about the resources that we have inside, our inner resources also help to shape the future. For example, if I think about greed and ego, which is so prevalent in today's world, then that will lead, and fear, that will lead to one kind of future. If I think about the wisdom that I have inside, and I use that wisdom, that can shape another kind of future. So there's a very deep connection between our inner consciousness and the outer expression and what we see in the world. In fact, we're talking about here the confluence of two living systems, the living system of thoughts and the living system of the earth. And Christiana Figueres, who of course was one of the main people with the Paris Agreement, she wrote recently about there being two doors. And we could go through one door that will really lead to a climate catastrophe. Or we could go through another door which could lead to, again, the flourishing of our earth. And so it really is up to us to make that choice. And so our mindset, our intentions, and the quality of our actions then really will make a difference as to which door it is that we choose and what the future will then be. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maureen. And yes, it's a detailed explanation how consciousness can shape the future. And there is so much more to say on that topic. We will open time for questions, but to make sure we have time for meditation, I'd like to take the meditation first. So I'll ask Maureen to guide a 2-minute meditation so we can all relax and then we take questions.
So yes, relax and just take a deep breath or two and become really present here in the room. Let me leave the distractions outside and let me be here with myself. let me go inside and discover the beauty of my inner world and discover the treasures within the being, the real self, the treasure of peace, the treasure of love, the treasure of wisdom. As I allow these treasures to grow inside of me, and I begin to use them, they begin to motivate my actions. I begin to make a difference. I create a loving and peaceful atmosphere in this world so that humanity and all of nature can again return to its original state of peace and love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. I'm sure you enjoyed short silence in the middle of this noisy place. So is there anyone like to ask any questions or have any comments or? Yes, Caitlin, yeah. You have to speak up. Oh, you get a microphone. Very good.
Hi, Caitlin Hughes, Executive Director with Solar Cookers International, and I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation. And the question for Golo, what do you find most rewarding or inspiring about the work that you've done with solar thermal?
Well, I found most rewarding when you have an idea initially, and you know, it's like a flash which comes in your mind, something new, and then there are so many problems and hurdles, and after quite some time, finally it becomes reality, and that I found most rewarding. You know, that's very satisfactory, and I was very lucky. I had these ideas about solar systems, and somehow I was lucky that they came true. So that was very rewarding, very satisfactory. And also, of course, to create something which is clean and which helps poor people also to cook. We distributed also thousands of solar cooking boxes, solar lanterns, some of them free of charges to the poor people. And it's very satisfactory to see how poor people can use these gadgets. They have a clean means to cook. They have a clean energy source in the night for light, for cooking purpose. This is also very rewarding to help the poor to have a better life. So these two things, they were very satisfactory and rewarding.
Thank you. This question came from Solar Cooker, which has been our friends and partners since many years. Okay. And you were at the back there with the blue shirt? Yeah. He was first.
Thank you very much. I'm on the advisory committee for the Decade of Ecosystem Restoration. My name is John Liu. I founded the Ecosystem Restoration Camps movement. There are more than 55 ecosystem restoration camps around the world. I think they would love and benefit from your meditation practices and also from your energy things. And I'd just like to tell you that there's a convergence now between ecological restoration and the food crisis, which is coming, and that if you're interested, it would be very, very good if you would direct your attention to the concept of creating central kitchens and creator spaces and cultural stages to help communities to feed themselves. World Food Program is now finding that if they get 100% of the pledges for the monies for the people who will be affected by the predicted famine, since the major wheat is not going to come from Ukraine and Russia, then they can only feed half of the people who are ill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your suggestion. We will connect to you after if you stay, and we'll talk more about this suggestion. And then we have a question from the lady here.
Is it working? Yeah. Hi, my name is Elisa. I'm a project manager in a tech company, and I'm also a yoga teacher. My question is for Maureen. As a woman and as a spiritual person, what are the main blockages that you're finding at the UN level in bringing on this concept of the climate crisis really being stemmed from a spiritual crisis? And what would be your advice to a person like me who's working in sustainability and trying to bring on this concept at a company level, but also as a youth level? Just some words of wisdom from your experience.
Big question. Well, first of all, I really so appreciate the energy of the young people here. And I think this is a real movement for the future. And the first time we have a youth and children's pavilion, which is great. I think still at the government level, there isn't really a very clear understanding of these things, of the relationship between the deep human factors and climate change. And I always feel that in this sort of work, it's important to look for those individuals who really do have that understanding. And those individuals are there. They may not be very obvious, but they are there. And working with individuals in this way can be the way in which we can bring this voice to the table. It's not easy, but I don't see another way as yet. But one thing that is happening is that the voice of faith-based organizations is coming more to the fore. And so there have been calls to UNCCC from Talanoia Dialogue, which brought faiths together at the beginning. So whatever way we can, we're trying to do this communication, but we also need to reach out with our good, pure vibrations. That's very important.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. As the other two panelists had a chance for a question, I wonder if Kenneth has a final comment or something, 1 minute you'd like to share?
One of the best solutions to climate change is that we change our mindset. Thank you.
Thank you. Very direct and very clear. So thank you very much to the three panelists and to you for your questions and being here, and we work together. I'd like to make 2 announcements for other programs we have. Tomorrow, there is the first side event for Global Interfaith Youth Action. And that's at 11:30 in room Tutankhamun. And then actually Thursday night, that's the 17th, we have a meditation cultural event in the Cryosphere Pavilion at 7:30. So that's the last evening of COP and time to chill out. So thank you, all of you, and good afternoon.